Welcome back. This is Wealth Principle 52. Yes, that's right. We've been traveling through the 52 wealth principles and we finally made it 1 year later. That's right. A year ago today, we started with our very first wealth principle, Wealth Principle 1, which is think a million. And we traveled all the way through past wealth Principle 33, start a business to sell your business, all the way to Wealth Principle 51, which was learn to love solving problems for people and getting rich doing it. And we're here at Wealth Principle 52. Wealth Principle 52 is the most powerful of them all. And you've noticed the last 10 were very powerful wealth principles. In the beginning, they were more detailed, more specific. And as we moved through about half the way, it starts shifting really heavily into mindset. And the last 10 were focused very heavily on the things that will make you successful, build your wealth. But this last one is the most important one. And it's the easiest one to forget. That's why it's such a slippery fish. This wealth principle is sharpen the saw. And what that means, because you are the saw, your skill set, your mindset, who you are is the saw. And for anybody who wants to follow along, you can go to gualteramarello.com, hit the education tab, go down to the 52 weeks to wealth, and you can follow along today's lesson. This is a different form, a different way of going about this than we normally do. We will be reviewing all 52 wealth principles. Take notes, because this is the most powerful lesson that you can learn. Sharpening the saw. There's a story told. Who's heard the story of, who's actually read this book, the book of the week, 7 Principles of Highly Effective People? Excellent. Mike's giving me the half, sort of have. All right, Mike, do you have at least have the 7 principles pulled up? He's got the book.
I've got the book. I don't have the principles pulled up, but I can get them. Sharpen your saw. Sharpen your saw.
They're right in the first chapter. So in a few minutes, we're going to bring Mike up. He's going to talk about the book itself.
Now there's 8 of them.
There's 8 of them. I remember the 8th principle, yes, which was kind of a letdown if you compare it to the first book. Before we dive into it, we are going to do an exercise, and it's going to involve sharpening the saw. We are going to go through all 52 weeks. We're going to do it very quickly. It's going to be very aggressive. And this week, you're going to reflect on the most important one, the one that pops out to you the most. So in this exercise, as I'm going through and discussing the different principles, I want you to write down the top 3, top 5 that really resonate with you, that feel move you the most, that feel like the most, wow, I haven't thought of that, or this is the most impactful thing I can do right now. And then this week, you're going to focus on that one. We're going to drop it down to just one at the end of it. And you'll focus on one principle this week that you're getting twice. You did it earlier in the year, and now you're doing it again. It's sharpening the saw, going back to the thing that really you need to work on the most, reevaluating and reproving to yourself the process and the system. I do want to brag just a little bit, because that is something I'm comfortable with. I wrote a book myself, and it took about 6 months to put this together, because it is a 300-page novel on how to get real estate deals. Title is Real Estate Alchemist, Get the Deal, the underground playbook for finding motivated sellers, evaluating real estate properties, and closing more real estate deals in your market. Hands to the camera if that's something you would like to do this year. Excellent. The underground playbook. I put it all right there. Now, it is easy to not find this book on Amazon. So as you're going and searching on Amazon, just type my name in. I'm the only one. You'll see that I come up for both Get the Deal and Broke to $250,000. You can buy both. But if you do it this week only, you can get both for free if you do the download, the digital download. Then if you want the physical copy and you want to be able to brag about it, take selfies with it, a lot like I do, where we just, hey, look at this. Whoa, did you see this in chapter 4? This is cool. In fact, over here on page 157, I've got Facebook marketing. And it's a setup that works no matter what, no matter how the business changes. Just a really cool book. Investing out of state. Who's considered investing out of state? Hands to the camera. Yeah, I put that in there in my strategy section, my location section. It's really cool. Who wants to know the different classes? I break down class A, B, C, how to evaluate them. Man, I love this book. All right, give me a round of applause. I wrote the book. Get the Deal. My next project is Get the Money. It will be about the same size. It will take me maybe another 6 to 12 months to accomplish, because I've got to go and promote this. I got to get this into a lot of people's heads before getting the money is important. Does that make sense? System and a process to everything that I do. I already wrote most of Get the Money. I just have a lot of refining to do on it. And I also wrote most of Be the Bank. I just have a lot of refining to do on it. There is a process and a system to everything that we do. I'm constantly sharpening the saw. I was telling Dorina last night, the reason I teach 5 times a week is not because I have to. It's for practice. It's so that when I do a speaking event like we did this Thursday, who was at Thursday's event? Hands to the camera if you were at Thursday's event. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Was it powerful? Hands to the camera if it was powerful. If there was some great information, great education, and a great community. Yes? Excellent. The reason that I'm able to move people so easily, able to teach so quickly, able to grab the right information is because I practice every single week. I out-practice everybody else in the industry. There's nobody out there who's doing more speaking than we are. Our coaches are constantly in calls, constantly building training programs on the fly, just coming up with stuff, finding what needs to be taught, and then teaching it. If you watch Terry Wager on Thursday nights, he'll ask you, what do you want to be taught? And then he'll build a course right there in front of you. It's absolutely fascinating to watch. We've seen it, right? We've seen how practice makes perfect. That's the lesson of sharpening the saw. We talked about it a lot Thursday. We said, here are the skills that you must have in order to close more deals. Here they are, but this training is only as valuable as the amount of times that you practice it. It's only as valuable as the amount of excuses you can come up with to talk to your family this way, talk to your friends this way, talk to your colleagues this way, to go out and talk to strangers this way. Every interaction you have utilizing those skills, that mindset, those frames, those modalities that we put into your head, every single excuse to practice, no matter how small, is building you for the moment that it really matters. Because there's really only a few moments where it matters in real estate. It's when you're in front of the seller and you're about to sign a contract. That's when it really matters. That's when it all comes down to the line, down to the wire, where you're about to make $50,000 or $100,000 in a 20, 30-minute conversation. That's when it all matters. Do not practice when you're on those appointments. Hands to the camera if you agree. Sharpen the saw daily. Sharpen the saw. There's a story. Is it okay if I tell a story? It's not one of mine. It's just one that I've heard. So there's a story. There's this young man, and they join this competition, and he goes, and his job is to chop down a tree. He's supposed to chop down this tree with an axe. And there's an old man in the competition, a young man and an old man. There's a bunch of other people, but the young man's on the side of the old man. And the young man's strong. He's buff. He's built. And the old man's he's been around for a while. Let's say life's worn him down. And the first thing the man does is he sits down, picks up his axe, and he starts sharpening it. And the young man just picks up the axe, he starts wailing on the tree, wailing on all of his energy, putting it all out there. And the old man sharpens his saw, sharpens it. Then he stands up, and the young man's going. He's going crazy. And he has to take a break. He's had enough. He has to take a break. The old man takes 3 whacks, sits back down, sharpens the saw. And this happens a couple times. And the young man is sweating. He's exhausted. And moral of the story, right at the end, the old man hits it 3 more times, and the tree comes down. And the young man's exhausted, sweating. How you doing? And still just a little left. Great job. We love Tom, but we got to mute him sometimes. And the reason the old man won is because the blade was so sharp that every single hit counts. It made a difference. Whereas the young man, even with all his force and all his power, was hitting with a dull blade. And so it was barely doing anything. So all of that energy in the wrong manner, with the wrong tool, is ineffective, just tires you out. Does that make sense? You can imagine trying to chop a tree down with a dull blade. Whereas with a sharp blade, it's just every whack takes a chunk out. Every single cut is moving wood. And the sap in the tree will wear it down. So you just keep it sharp, keep practicing, keep making calls. Who here has seen me cold call before? I don't know if you notice this, but the first thing I say is the first three are throwaways. Every single time I pick up the phone, I know my first three are throwaways. I'm just warming myself up. You know, when I do cold calling, typically for big money deals, my first call's my dad. First call's my brother. It's my mom, somebody in my family. That'd be Ron. Usually I hype myself up with a call to Ron. I test it all out on him. Right? First three are throwaways anyway. So I just call people that I'm really comfortable with, and then I just pick up the momentum as I go. That's something you can do. Excellent. Excellent. Let's get into the 52 weeks to wealth. This has been a journey. This has been an exciting journey all throughout the year. Each wealth principle building on the next. You're going to see it as we start going through this. They really do build on each other. And if you haven't been to the website, you haven't spent a lot of time there, that's on you. Well, actually, no, I'll take the blame for that. That's all right. Maybe I haven't promoted it enough. Maybe I haven't spent enough time saying, hey, here we are, 52 weeks to wealth. Learn how the 52 wealth principles. They're all right here in the books. The associated books are right on the side. So you can actually click on those books and you can go right to Amazon and you can send me like 12 cents and Bezos like the other $19. And I'm okay with it. I love giving Bezos that cash because every book you buy is an investment in yourself. Well, hold on. Buying the book is not as valuable as reading the book. So every book you borrow could be just as valuable. It could be an investment in yourself. So for people who borrow books and pass them along, that works too. And wealth principle 1 is think a million. The mindset. How often do we talk about mindset? Hands to the camera if you heard us talk about mindset. Mindset. The most important mindset is to think the dollar amount you want. If you have not earned $1 million, think $1 million. Is that okay? It's all right to take somebody else's dream until you can figure your own out. Just set something. So write it down. Think $1 million. I think $1 million. And as we're going through this, I want to share the secret that may or may not be a secret. It's just my fault for not saying it too often. These are my affirmations. These were my affirmations as I was building my business. These were things I pulled from other events. The notes I took at other events that changed my life, things I pulled out of books that changed my life, I wrote down. And over time, they became the 52 wealth principles. And these were my affirmations. I'd say them every day. They're on my drawer back in my house. I have little cards with them all written out. And I would look before I got dressed and I'd look down, I'd speak the affirmations right in the mirror. And this is the gift I'm giving you. So the first is think $1 million. You got to start with a goal. If you don't have one, $1 million's a good place to start. Next is choose a business that can make $1 million. And what that means is many businesses that people start up. I have so many friends and cousins and family members who jump into businesses thinking, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And I look at it, I'm like, dude, how do you make more than 100,000 in that business? It's not scalable. It's not possible. The amount of effort involved, the amount of creativity involved is just too much to scale. There's not enough people involved to get this to the next level. Make sure it can make $1 million. Most businesses can. Some businesses cannot. Does that make sense? Here's a clue on whether or not this business can become $1 million business. Somebody else has already built $1 million business. So it's already $1 million business somewhere else. This is a good hint that this is the right business for you. And why is the $1 million business so important? Well, if year one goes by and you're happy with your $60,000, cool, year one's great. If year 2 comes by and you want to make 120 and the business is not designed to go there, then you're in a bad situation. You've wasted an entire year or 2 to start building it. Does that make sense? As you grow, you will want more. Every level has another devil. Every amount of income you earn has with it more desires to have more. And so at every pace, every place, you want to make sure that your business can grow, you can grow into it, that it can grow into your new desires. Wealth principle 3, understand the 4 types of money. Write these down: income, profit, flow, and equity. Income is money that comes into the business. This is the good stuff. This is the one everybody thinks about. Profit is money you didn't have to work for. That comes from a true business. That's profit. That's money off of other people's efforts. That's the good stuff. Flow is the money in between. It's the money that is happening, the transactions. It's that money that comes in that goes right back out to expenses. Ron and I have a flow in our company that's about $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month, that if the bank account goes under that, we know we're in trouble. Does that make sense? Like, that 30 is flow. It's money that just has to be there. It comes and it goes and it keeps moving. And flow has a timing to it. It's different in the middle of the month than it is at the end and at the beginning. And so you have to understand your flow. You have to understand what that fire hose of money moving is. And it's also the reason more money comes in. So flow is very important. And then equity. Equity is what you build as your assets grow. Understanding these 4 different pieces to cash flow and money is key to building your business. If you're not paying attention to one of them, I guarantee you will have problems. So as you're building $1 million business, pay attention to your income, your profit, your flow, and your equity. You are constantly looking to grow all 4. All 4. But if you do not have profit in your business right now, you do not have a business, you have a job. You're self-employed. You have a job, you have to show up. Profit means money's coming in without your efforts. And so you constantly want to work on adding and improving your profits. And if you add and improve your profits, guess what? Equity goes up. And as equity goes up and you increase profits, well, flow will increase too. The more flow there is, the more equity your company has, the more profits you end up having. So keeping flow in a powerful, manageable position, keeping your expenses low and your income high, and keeping it spinning is key. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to make clear something Walter just said, and that's, if you're not profitable and you just started, that's okay. There is a little bit of a runway. Sorry, it is, because the profit is money coming out of the business. And so if you're in the beginnings of a business, you should be putting all of your money back in to scale. And so the reality is, we make money. We would be profitable if we pulled it out, but we would not grow. And so we put all of our money back in as much as we can to continue to grow, continue to build our audience, to build our list, continue to do that.
Absolutely, Terry. That is flow. That is why it makes so much sense to, as money comes in, so you want profit, you have to make money, you have to have profit. But what Terry's suggesting is increasing flow. Get your flow up. Take that profit, roll it back into flow, get it going so you get more juiced up, increasing your income, increasing your profit, increasing your equity. Let's give Doc Terry Wager a round of applause. Was that a good clarification? Good to remember? Excellent. Wealth principle 4, put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. Because many people disagree with this philosophy, I have to remind you, this came directly from Warren Buffett. Came directly from the best investor on the planet. Put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket. I will use Mike Schein as an example, or myself as an example. When people said, do stocks, do Bitcoin, do business, I went all in on real estate, became a millionaire in 3 years. When people said to Mike, oh, you should diversify your portfolio, I said, I'm all in on Tesla, and became a Tesla millionaire within a year. It's all about putting all your eggs in one basket and protecting that basket, making sure. And when you protect an investment, it's having done your math, having done your research, having built your team, having made sure that the process was all lined up correctly before putting all your eggs in that basket. We don't just throw our eggs in a stock or in a real estate deal without knowing what we're doing. Does that make sense? But if you want to get rich, you got to pick one and focus on it. Everything goes into one vehicle and you push that vehicle hard as long as that vehicle can make $1 million. If you chose the wrong vehicle, pull out, get a different basket. It's okay to cut your losses if you made a mistake in choosing your vehicle. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. Awesome. Excellent. Wealth Principle 5. Last year, Mike Schein actually taught this wealth principle, and it was a lot of fun. He taught the Wealth Principle 5, which is build a business. If you want tax advantages, if you want to make more money and pay less taxes, if you want to have the freedom of your own schedule, build a business. If you're self-employed and you think you've built a business, but you're still working in the company, you haven't built a business. A business operates without you. Hands to the camera if we understand. This makes sense. Build a business. It will allow you to build more businesses and buy more assets, buy more real estate. It's the key to building the rest of this. Wealth Principle 6, your business must solve a problem. Your business must solve a problem. We actually changed the book. We added it. The book is now Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future. Me and Mike, we revisited the 52 Weeks to Wealth, and we went and we changed some of the books. Your business must solve a problem. Look at your business right now. If you can't identify the problem it solves, you're probably not making sales. Does that make sense? Anybody ever been a part of a business that didn't solve problems? Hard to sell that product, isn't it? But when you solve problems, it's easy to sell. Wealth Principle 7, who has your money? Who's heard that said before? Who has my money? Yes, it's all about identifying your clients. And in this next section, we talk a lot about marketing and identifying who has your money. Where is it sitting? Who has your money is a wealth principle that we discovered from Grant Cardone. And the book that week is If You're Not First, You're Last from Uncle GC. And it is all about identifying who has the money that you're looking to acquire and how can you serve them. It goes along with the wealth principle prior to it. Wealth Principle 8, do not save for a rainy day. Don't save for a rainy day. The principle is to save to invest. But all your family said, you should save money. Why? For a rainy day, just in case. You never know. That is not why we save money. It's not exciting. You want to get excited about saving money, think about the stock you're going to buy or the piece of real estate you're going to buy. Save money to invest. Save money to buy freedom, to buy a lifestyle. Save money to invest, not save money to save or for a rainy day. The book of the week is Set for Life by Scott Trench. Phenomenal book. Track and focus on your net worth. Who knows that net worth can be a direct relationship to how much money you're making? Because if you just invested, you could always get a return on investment. Track it, grow it, focus on it. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on expands. Where energy goes, where attention flows, energy goes, and results show. And so if you focus on your net worth, you'll have a bigger, better net worth. Focus on the asset column. Don't focus on the liabilities. Make sure you focus on building your assets and pay down, set a payment plan on the liabilities. Get those paid off automatically. Direct deposit, whatever you have to do. Get a bookkeeper, have them pay that off for you. But jump on buying more assets, acquiring more assets. When I wake up in the morning, Dorena knows, she's seen me go through this. I wake up with this intensity. It's like there's something wrong, like something just isn't right. And it's because in my head, I'm thinking, how do I fill that bank account even more? It's in my dreams, I made it a little bigger, filled the capacity of it. And so now the tank is bigger and now it feels empty again. And I got to go put more into it. There's an intensity when I get up in the morning. Hands to the camera if you've ever felt that feeling before where it's like, man, I got to go do something. Yes. Excellent. Track your net worth. When you see that goal of 10 million, it's like, well, what the hell am I doing at 2.4? Shit has to change. We got to go. When you see your net worth and you're looking to get that first 100,000, It's the same thing. You just set that goal, set it. It gets insane up here. It gets nuts. You got to lose your mind a little bit, get crazy. Set that goal of $1 million. It'll pull you. If you look at the bank account, visualize it as $1 million bank account is only, I don't know, $10,000 sitting it, or not even. That's an empty bank account. That's an experience for you. Hands to the camera if you know what I'm talking about. You got to go fill it. Yes. Excellent. Track it. Increase your income through increments and surges. We chose a 12-week year because it's all about breaking down the year into smaller segments. It makes it a lot easier for you to tackle your goals. Increase your income through increments and surges. What that means, if you watch, who's watched Undercover Billionaire? Hands to the camera if you watched Undercover Billionaire. Awesome. So watch what they do. First, they're flipping tires to get a little bit of cash, or they're cleaning houses, whatever they got to do to get that $60, $80. It's just like a hustle. And then they shift over to selling vehicles. And then they shift over to flipping real estate. And then they move into, Glenn Stearns went and did a big event where he went and made, attempted to make $25,000. He made $21,000. Nobody cried for him. And then shifted over to opening a restaurant and getting an appraiser out there. And it became something that was, well, I can't give it away if you haven't watched it yet. So go watch it. Season 1, really good. But it was increments and surges. Increments. First money led to second money led to third money, reinvesting in the flow, building up the different assets they were investing in, stacking up. Ron and I followed the same process. It was 1 house, then it was 2 houses, then it was 6, and then it was 12, and it just kept stacking. And now we cannot look at a 3-family and feel comfortable about it. Like, we're just like, no. 2-family. In fact, I got a text last night about a single family in New Bedford. I was like, dude, I'm so thankful for you sending me the deal. Like, I'm so thankful that you thought of me. And at the same time, I'm just like, dude, I'm not even remotely interested in a single family house right now. Like, I can't even pretend to be interested in this house. I can't, I couldn't. I couldn't even get excited about it because there's no potentiality for me to do what I do. Double down on your marketing. This is actually the wealth principle that Darina remembers most because it's the first one that she went and did her own video on. So I'm going to encourage everybody here to pick a wealth principle today and go live on Facebook and give your synopsis of it. 30 seconds, a minute. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's also valuable. Going out and giving somebody else that thing that is important to you at that moment. Of the 52, find one that really resonates with you and do a Facebook Live today. Write this down. Write this down as you're going through. You can do a Facebook Live today for about 30 seconds to a minute. Just a quick overview on your favorite wealth principle. And if it's in your heart and you so choose, you can always point them back to gualtermerillo.com so they can learn more about the wealth principles. We are starting again next week with Wealth Principle 1. So Darina remembers this one. Double your marketing. She took it seriously. She doubled her marketing. She increased the energy she was putting out there. And so she started doing Facebook Live videos. And people started noticing. And her business increased. I think it could do the same for you. Wealth Principle 12. Alleviate frustration experienced by a large group of people who are willing to pay enough to make it worth your effort. Longest wealth principle in the group, but it was long and specific for a reason. This came directly out of the E-Myth from Michael Gerber. And what Michael was saying is that you have to find something that has pain to it. It's a frustration, but not just 1 or 2 people. It has to be a large enough group to be sustainable for your business. Your business has to alleviate frustrations for a large enough group. Hands to the camera if we understand it's not just about solving problems for a lot of people. That's how you scale a business. That's how you make a lot of money. Excellent. Excellent. Well, principle 13, build a contagious culture in your business and marketing. Hands to the camera if you are wearing the brand. Throw it up. 100 millionaires, putting it out there. It has to be contagious to spread. You have to get excited about it when you see it. You have to feel good about it when you wear it. It's got to make you feel a certain way. That's how you build a contagious brand. I knew I hadn't built a contagious brand until the 100 millionaires because nobody asked me for shirts. But when we built the 100 millionaires, we're like, hey, how do I get some? Like, how do we get those? Where are those at? And when we start talking about names on deeds, who gets excited about names on deeds? When you get excited about, yes, that's how we knew that was something that can go contagious. You test a lot of things out. You put a lot out there and you pay attention to what people connect with. Hands to the camera if you think you can do this in your business. Yes, it's overwhelming, of course, at first, but you can do this. Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent. Double down on marketing, alleviate frustrations, build a contagious culture. Wealth principle 14, focus on the 80-20 principle in sales and marketing. In sales and marketing, focus on the 80-20. What brings you in the most business? For us, we discovered it was our branding was very important. It was the video trainings that we did, the group events that we did. This was what brought us in the most money, the most people, the most community, the most deal flow, so we could buy more real estate. Bringing in a community, teaching wholesalers was our highest leverage point. It's how we could increase the amount of deals that we had. I actually talk about it here in the book. It is one of my strategies. I teach how to do it because I'm nice like that. And for me, giving it all away is how I get more deals. Does that make sense? Literally, this book is how I get more access to more deals, and you can get the same out of it. Just hand it to a wholesaler who's loyal to you. Can we do that? Hands to the camera if you know it's possible. Teaching real estate agents, wholesalers. We identified that was our 80-20. We identified that educating and building a team around us, focusing them on their own wealth, on their own health, on their own self-improvement, that we could have a team full of killers who could bring us any deal in any market at any time. Focus on your 80-20. Identify what works best in your business. Develop a fixity. Oh, no, both principle 15. Leverage the law of reciprocity. Who knows that I work for free first? I give you the gift first before I make any kind of ask. Over and over, I give, I give, I give, I give. And only very rarely do I make an ask. And when I make an ask, it feels like a small ask. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. Excellent. Work with the law of reciprocity. Give first. Don't go meet people and say, hey, can I get some of your money? Go meet people and offer a service for free. Offer some knowledge. Offer some consultation. Offer some sort of compliment at least before you ask for their money. Offer something first. Go and give. The law of reciprocity is such that if you smile, someone has to smile back. When you give something, somebody has to give back. It's just human nature. It's who we are. It's embedded in our culture, in our sociology. Develop a fixity of purpose. Think and Grow Rich. Who's read the book? Yes. Powerful community. Give yourselves a round of applause. Develop a fixity of purpose. I don't want to give it away if you haven't read the book, but in the beginning of the book, he teases that there's a wealth principle. There's a principle that he talks about throughout the entire book. Spoiler alert, it's fixity of purpose. It's a clear ideal. It's one thing. It's no matter what, this has to happen in my life. That powerful fixity of purpose is a secret to all manifestation in every aspect of your business or investment. Focus on that one piece and everything else makes sense and falls into play and together. Develop a fixity of purpose. And it can be whatever you want. Absolutely whatever you want, but you cannot change it too often. You got to pick one, run after it, get it, and then pick another one. The problem with most people is they know that they can do anything. Hands to the camera, you know you can do absolutely anything. Biggest problem in your life, isn't it? Because there's too many options. If we took all the options away, you'd just be successful. Not the only one you had left. Is that fair to say? If I took all of your skill sets away, all of your different options, all your different variables, and I said, look, the only thing you have is you're a real estate investor, and your only play is you buy real estate and you connect with people in real estate, you would suddenly not be distracted by all those other activities. And if I gave you a timeline, said you've only got 6 months to go do this deal, suddenly time would become real for you. It would be imperative. Hands to the camera if you know what I'm talking about. Powerful. Fixity of purpose. Offer high ticket items or deal in high volume sales, or do like I do both. Who noticed this weekend we sold a low high volume item, a low ticket high volume item? Who paid to be at our Thursday event? Yes, $97. We consider that a low ticket item. We sold 50 of those. Who also noticed we sold a high ticket item? Hands to the camera if you noticed a high ticket item, a $10,000 product. Scares most people, but in our community, you're used to it already. You understood how to do it, how to get it done, why the value was there. So I'm almost afraid to talk about it without having, I know there's people who've never heard me speak before on the call. Hands to the camera if you've never heard me speak before. Yeah. All right, Kevin. Excellent. So there are a few of you out there. I'm not selling anything today. I promise. Don't worry. You're good. You're in a safe space. High ticket items are only valuable to the people who need that in their life, who are looking to crush life and don't want to waste time. High volume items are for the tasters, are for the people who just want to know a little bit, who just are interested in a little bite, little bite, little bite. High ticket items are for the players. Those are the people who don't have time to waste anymore. They wasted enough of their lives and they want to take things seriously. They want to move forward. I'm a high ticket player. Now you sell me, I don't buy small, I buy high ticket. I buy, show me the secrets now. I want the better product. I want the better investment. When I'm investing in my company, I buy the thing that will last the longest and produce the most. That's what I want. I want that investment in my business every single day. My mindset is no different. I go to the best coach. Do I negotiate with them? Of course. I'm a very valuable person. I got a lot of things to give. I got a lot of opportunities to create. And if I can't, I pay. Does that make sense? There is somebody who will pay a high ticket price for your product and a high volume price. If you play the high volume game alone, you're going to bust your ass, work a lot of hours. But if you can shift into become more valuable you can also play the high ticket price. That's why we do rentals and we do flips. Flips are high ticket. We make a big profit right away. Rentals are smaller profit, longer term play. But over time, they stack up. Does that make sense? Excellent. Excellent. Agency has the same thing. I'll go into agency because hands to the camera if you're a licensed real estate agent. There's a lot of you on the call. Excellent. Rentals, high volume. Real estate, high ticket. Average homes, high volume. Luxury, high ticket. We notice the difference. We know the pay levels very different. The effort's very different. Excellent. That's why you diversify just a little bit in your portfolio. Small investors, big investors. Guys who want to buy 3 families, cool. Go sell that $250,000 house. Guys who want to buy 20, 30 units, cool. I'll move after that $2, $3 million property. Does that make sense? Same level of marketing, just different size fish. Excellent. Only deliver the highest quality product and services, and from there, constantly improve. Constantly improve. Who's noticed that every product I ever sell, I tell you it's the beta test because I'm always getting better? Who's heard me say this is just a beta test? We're just testing this out. We're just seeing how it goes. It's because every single time we're improving the product. Every flip that Ron and I have ever messed up on, we're like, cool, that was just a test, right? That one was just a learning experience. We make money on them, but we learned something. Next time, okay, we'll add that to the contract. We'll add that to the conversation with the contractor. Every rental property is just a beta test, leading to the next one, leading to the next one, leading to the next one. Does that make sense? You start looking at your business as every single client is just a beta test. Every situation is just a beta test. It's not all on the line. And it is at the same time because you want to constantly improve. Keep it going. Keep it growing. 19, be a world-class expert in your business. World-class expert. Be the very best. Focus on the best. Surround yourself with the best. Become the best. Be a world-class expert in your business. Write that down. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to be world-class in your industry? Write it down. Wealth Principle 20 comes directly from Grant Cardone. Apply the 10X rule to your planning. The 10X rule, it means If you want to build a business that makes $100,000 this year, focus on the systems, on the contacts you'll have to make to build a business that makes $1 million. If you want to make 100,000, focus on a business that can make $1 million, and the systems that make $1 million, and the people you have to talk to, the clients you'll have to make the $1 million, because you'll definitely hit the 100,000 when you're thinking that big. Does that make sense? We can grasp it. If you're aiming at $1 million, explode your mind a little bit and ask, what does a $10 million business look like? For Ron and I, we're looking at a $10 million business. So we're looking and saying, what does a $100 million business look like? How does that operate? How many people are involved? Who are they? What systems are required? What deals do those look like? Does that make sense? Go big. The 10X system is designed to, the 10X rule allows you to think bigger, plan bigger, so you can produce more. Create definition of vision. And by the way, I got to speed this up. I didn't realize what time it was. Who here is having so much fun that we lost track of time? Excellent. I'm going to speed these up. We got to cruise through these next ones. Create a definiteness of your vision, which is different from purpose. Vision is different from purpose. Vision is the actual tangible, seeable piece. Your purpose is the energy behind it. The vision are the pieces that put it together, that actually you can do vision boards and put them together and be able to describe those to people. Your purpose is harder to describe. It's more emotional. Whereas your vision, that is something tangible. That's something you can speak to other people. With a powerful vision, you can move a lot of people towards your goal. Seek out strategic partners and affiliates. Notice that we put vision before seeking out strategic partners and affiliates. First, you must be clear on your vision before you can get anybody else clear on your vision. Hands to the camera if you're a little foggy on the vision, still having a little bit of trouble with it. Yep. It's all right. It's all right. We'll get that cleaned up. That is part of what Dr. Terry Wager does. You went on the vision so that you can inspire and acquire your team. It takes other people to build $1 million businesses. It takes other people. You can't do it by yourself. Try as you may, cute as it sounds, it is not possible to build $1 million business all by yourself in a short period of time. Could you do it over 40 years? Sure. But does that really count? What will $1 million even be worth in 40 years? Maybe it's only the equivalent of $250,000 as they keep eroding at the dollar. Seek out strategic partners and affiliates. You need other people. The power of partnerships. Partnerships are how I started really expanding my business. Ron Bowling, Terry Wager, Mitch Jorsky, Mike Schein, Ryan McDermott, other partners, other people. Even Dorina is a partner in what we do together. Finding other people to partner with that you like and trust and have a skill and an ability are the key to expansion. You will fail. Don't give up in the process. Just acknowledgement. Just knowing failure is part of the game. It's cool. It's like every time you fail, cool. Checkpoint, made it. Excellent. That means I'm here. It means I'm playing the game. It means we're on the right board. You will fail. Don't give up on the process. Wealth Principle 25, the power of outsourcing. Outsourcing. We outsource everything. Nothing gets done in-house except for my physical face and my sound going out into the world. Everything else is outsourced to somebody else. Does that make sense? In fact, many of the tasks we do are outsourced to the Philippines and Uganda, and we appreciate our people out there. Thank you for everything you do for us. And since Sam does transcribe all my videos, thank you, Sam. We appreciate you, my friend. You're doing an awesome service to the community. And since Jennifer Sullivan goes and takes these and turns them into chapters and books, thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you. Awesome. Let's give them a round of applause. Very important people in our community. Outsource everything that is not absolutely necessary. Conceptual things, creation of the vision, that's you. Everything else can be outsourced. Study the people and businesses that are performing the way you want your business to perform. Watch your competition. Watch the people better than you. Learn from them. Study them. Buy their products. Funnel hack them. Right, Ryan? Funnel hack those people. Figure out what they're doing well and do it the same way or better. Wealth Principle 27, the steadiness of your faith. It does get tough. You got to see it. You got to believe it. You got to stick to it. You got to believe in what you're doing because it can get to be a bumpy ride. The steadiness of your faith. Wealth Principle 27. Wealth Principle 28, learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. Wealth Principle 28, learn to love dealing with large amounts of money and the people who have it. Because the people who have it are really, really cool. Learn to love dealing with people who have large amounts of money. 29, own 100% of your results. There is nobody else to blame from this day forward. Wealth Principle 29, own 100% of your results. If you are not successful, it's your fault. If you don't like where you live, it's your fault. If you don't like the amount of money coming into your house, your situation, your life, your fault. Own 100% of your results. In COVID, I got richer. In COVID, my community got richer. But I heard a lot of people say they lost opportunities, that things got bad for them. They're not owning their results, and so they don't like their results. Does that make sense? Hands to the camera if you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying the truth. I've seen each and every one of you succeed and improve and grow during the situation where everybody else is saying, oh man, I can't do anything because of COVID. Yo, like we do more because of COVID. We made more because of COVID. We found ways. We adjusted our entire business because of COVID. And now we increase profit. Does that make sense? We get it. Excellent. Own 100% of your results. You earned it, whether you like them or not. Wealth Principle 30, learn how to attract the right mentors for your goals. We talked a lot about that in Wealth Principle 30. You can go back to gualtermorello.com and the Wealth Principles are on there. You go to our YouTube channel, the Wealth Principles are there. Actually, gualtermorello.com doesn't have all the Wealth Principles. You got to go to the YouTube channel for now. We'll put them on there. Sam's working on it. So go to the YouTube channel. You can get all the Wealth Principles. That's Gualter Morello, Real Estate Mentor on YouTube. And we did talk about how to attract the right mentors for your goals. When setting sales goals, go for no. Don't go and make calls until somebody says yes. Go for 100 no's. That'll get you 2, 3 yeses, 4 yeses. Go for no when seeking out your goals. Look for the no's. The point is not to work. It's to generate income, a self-discovery of mine. So I took a lot of my quotes from other events, other things. This one was something I said in a conversation with Ron, and I just paused. I said, that's so fucking good. I wrote it down on the whiteboard, and it stayed on the whiteboard for like 3 years, and I just remembered it over and over. I was like, man, the point is not to work. It's generate income, generate income. That's the point. Because I used to be so busy when I was broke. Phenomenal, phenomenal wealth principle, if I do say so myself. Let's give me a round of applause. I came up with one of these. The rest of these I did acquire from other very intelligent, very smart business owners and investors. Start your business to sell your business and get rich. That one blew me away the first time I heard it. But the guy was way richer than me. And so I realized I should probably listen. You start your business to sell your business and get rich. Sell your business and get rich. It's not just there to be a job. Accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. Wealth Principle 34 came just in time. We came down to that wealth principle as COVID was racking the country and reminded everybody, accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. And many of you already have. Hands to the camera if you already see the advantages thanks to the opportunities presented. Excellent. Excellent. Very smart group of people here. 35, create an awesome team around you. Need I say more? My beautiful, successful future millionaires, all with an ambition to go out and build 100 millionaires. Each and every one of you is a team member, even if you're still in the learning phase. Building a great team is all about teaching and training, educating people, paying it forward, giving them the opportunity to fill a role down the road. Be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word to yourself, to other people. When you say something to yourself, you keep that promise. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. When you tell somebody else you're going to do something, you do it. Do not tell people you will do things that you don't want to do. Just say no. Get good at it. When people ask me for lunch, I'm like, not doing it. I don't like going to lunches. Not my thing. When Mike Schein offers me sushi, I say, yes, I want to go there. Of course. Yes. Mitch, Mike, Ron, I'm down. But I genuinely don't like lunches. I don't like talking while I'm eating. There's only a handful of people I can have a blast doing that, and it's Mike Schein over sushi. Just a handful of people that I really enjoy doing that with. I got good at saying no when I didn't want to do lunches. Does that make sense? Excellent. Excellent. Be impeccable with your word. Depth of gratitude. You've got to be thankful for what you're creating in your life. You've got to see it. You got to feel it, believe it before it's in front of you. Some people say, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. No. You'll see it when you believe it. And you got to be thankful for it. I took that one from Mike. Thank you, Mike. Let's give Mike a round of applause. I get a lot of inspiration from the conversations we have. Absolutely.
I gotta give that's Wayne Dyer. So Wayne Dyer's got a book that's called that. So that is not my idea. It's awesome though.
I love it, Mike. Thank you. Wealth principle 38, sell your product before you build or create it. Who knows that I sold the event that we went to this Thursday before the event was designed? Hands to the camera if you watched us design it throughout the next few weeks. Yes. Sell your product before you build or create it. Sell it. Find out what your clients want. Do market research. Sell it to them, and then you'll have capital to go build it. Does that make sense? Excellent. How you do anything is how you do everything. Focus on the little things. See the little things in your life. If you're saying no to yourself on small stuff, you'll probably say no to yourself on $1 million. If you're sacrificing on small things, you're probably sacrificing on the big things. If you're half-assing small things, you're probably half-assing your $1 million business. Just something to think about. How you do anything is how you do everything. Give me a few minutes to play with somebody. I know how they're going to run their business. Give me a few hours of conversation with somebody. I've learned nothing about them other than what they think they are. But give me 2-3 minutes of a fun, playful, fun game or a conversation with somebody, and I'll know how their business is going to operate. Does that make sense? How you do anything is how you do everything. Powerful lesson. How you do, oh yeah, there it is. 40, create keystone habits. We talked about the keystone habits for success. You go back to Wealth Principle 40. That is a powerful one to learn those keystone habits. They are the habits that make all the other habits happen. So if you set up these 2-3 keystone habits, it forces your life into the direction you want to be in. And learning how to identify what those keystone habits is so critical, so powerful. And you can learn them in the book, The Power of Habit. You can go back and watch my rendition of the Wealth Principle 40, which was done on YouTube, still out there. Create keystone habits. Wealth Principle 41, in line with keystone habits, was create an environment that will force you to grow. Create an environment that will force you to grow. For example, I moved myself out of Fall River. It was too easy for me there. I was in an area I knew inside and out. I couldn't get to the size that I wanted to go. And so I moved myself into a much larger situation in a city with much more opportunity that was easy for me to expand in. And I moved to Tampa, the city that everybody else in the country says, yeah, that's where deals are flowing. That's where the deals are flowing. Now, I still do my business back in Fall River, but I just couldn't crank it up past the point that we'd hit. And so I had to go find somewhere that would grow me. Does that make sense? Excellent. Excellent. And I'll keep building my business forward. We'll keep expanding. We'll keep adding value to the city because that's where I'm from and that's what I do. You should always add value to the place you're from. Throw a little money back there. It's all right. Hands to the camera if we understand what that means. Excellent. Excellent. A little loyalty to where you grew up. I like that. Give the impression of increase and advancement. In all things that you do, give the impression of increase and advancement. When someone meets you, they should feel excited. They should feel a little electricity, a little charge, like, man, I can do it. You're right. Wow, this is exciting. They should feel the impression that you are somebody who's going somewhere, that something is happening when they're around you. And it will attract people who want to be something too. It will attract people who want to be somebody. It will attract you a team of people who have something to give, who are looking to go in a direction. And if you can guide them and give them the sense of advancement, that you are the advancing man or woman who is going somewhere, a team of people around you will show up and say, how do we get there? We want to go with you. Hands to the camera if you know what I'm talking about, my future millionaires. Yes, we're going somewhere. We're going together. And it's a lot of fun. Bring somebody along. Understand the power of demographics. There's a book called The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Some of Robert Greene's other books can be a little darker, but The Laws of Human Nature was actually his nicer book. And he paid it forward to people and recognized that people are actually genuinely good. And if you understand the power of demographics, why people move the way they move, where they're going, migratory patterns, you can identify your avatar very easily and you can market to them very, very cheaply, very efficiently. If you don't understand demographics, you could spend thousands and thousands and thousands, Stacey Gardner, on marketing dollars and never get the return on investment. You know what I'm talking about, Stacey? Spend thousands and not getting that return. It's, you know, demographics plays a huge role. Of course, also so does picking up the phone. So there's that. Let's give Stacey a round of applause. One of our students, she's pretty amazing. Systemize your business so it works without you. Remember we talked about businesses operating without you, profit. You have to systemize it in order to do that. Systemize can mean either another program, an application, or a human being, or a series of human beings that operate in a form of system, so it operates without you. Systemizing your business does not mean operating without people. We require people. People are good, as long as they cost you less than they produce. If they cost you more than they produce, it may be time to outsource to another country or replace them with a system. Like we've seen McDonald's do, like we've seen a lot of other, Walmart do. Sometimes humans do cost more than they're worth. Well, not more than they're worth, just more than we have to pay them. And so it's time to move over to a better system or a better location, somebody who takes less money. But systemize. Everything has to be systemized as much as you possibly can so your business runs without you. People systems are something that we are going away from. We're seeing the world move away from people systems as computer systems become better, robotic systems become better. But there are still some things that only a person can do. Make sure that you're good at training and teaching and acquiring those people to your team. Invest in assets that increase time, energy, and income streams. Those can be people. Hands to the camera if you've ever sold one of my products. You've gotten a little affiliate fee or you've referred somebody to the program before. Excellent, excellent. You're an asset to me. You're somebody I've invested in and I'm seeing the return on investment. Does that make sense? There's many forms of asset to invest in. They don't all take money. Sometimes they take your time. Sometimes they make building a system. Invest in assets that increase time, energy, and or income streams. Assets like real estate. Assets like dividend yielding stocks. Assets like machines or computers or people. Assets that increase your time and energy. And income streams. Simplify your life and business. We left this towards the end because after a whole year of this, you've built quite the machine, quite the monster that's taking over a lot of things in your life. And so it's time to simplify. Sometimes this time of year, you want to go back and look at your expenses and cut out things that are no longer adding value to you. Rohan and I spend thousands of dollars a month on different programs and systems. And every so often we put some of them under suspicion. And sometimes we just cut things out. And we save ourselves a couple $100 or thousands of dollars when we cut a system out that's no longer working. So go back and review your business and simplify your expenditures. Ask yourself, is this money I'm spending really serving me? Does it bring me something? Or is this money I could save or invest? And cut down the expenses, cut down some of the things that you're spending on, and increase the investments that you're making in products that add value to your life. Understand 47, the law of hyperfocus. Hyperfocus. We talked about understanding purpose at the beginning of this. This is a reminder. Hyperfocus is all of your energy on one thing, talking about one thing, surrounding yourself with a team that does one thing. Hyperfocus on one goal, hyperfocused on one mission. Ron and I have 2 targets this year. We're hyper-focused on them. One target is 500 units. The other target is 1,000 people through the mentorship, which means 100 millionaires. Hyper-focused, going so deep in our hyper-focus that we're not even looking at the 500 units because we're so focused on building the 100 millionaires. Because here's how this works. We knew if we built 100 millionaires, they'd bring us 500 units. Does that make sense? Hyper-focus allows you to get whatever you want in life so you can hyper-focus on the right thing at the right time. First things first. Focus on first things first, the one thing that'll leverage you all the way throughout the rest of the year. 48, know thyself, the power of personality test. Who's taken the DISC profile test or the MBTI test on the website? If you haven't, you can go to gualtermerlo.com, go to investor personalities. It's so much fun to identify a type of investor you are and learn about yourself. It'll help you with building your strategy, understanding that you have a certain propensity to invest a certain way. Understanding that will help you make decisions going forward. When you won't question why you're doing things or why success is eluding you. It could just be that you have to change your strategy to fit your personality. Seek to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand the other person before you seek to sell them what you're looking for. Before you tell them about your personality, identify what theirs is. Before you decide it's time for you to sell something to somebody, identify what they're looking for and see if you can tie your product into it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood, especially with your spouse. Hands to the camera if you've ever battled with your spouse before. Here's the secret. Write this down. They're right. Write that down. No, it's easy to just, yeah, no, I know. I hear you. See what I'm doing right now? I know. I get it. You're right. But they're right. Because if you can agree with them first and seek to understand where they're at, then they'll be open to listening to your side of the conversation. Does that make sense? Was that fun? The wealth principles can be fun. They can also be extremely powerful when applied. Wealth principle 50, never give up. Never, ever give up. Wealth principle 24 was a reminder that you will fail. Don't give up in the process. We talked about it halfway through the year. Right at the end of the year, it's another good reminder. Never give up. Never stop moving. Keep moving forward. Set the goal. Keep moving in the right direction. Wealth principle 51, we just did this last week. Learn to love solving problems for people and getting rich doing it. The book is Blue Fishing by Steve Sims, who's already read the book. Excellent. Such a cool book, the way it just flowed through the community. It flowed through so quickly. Steve O'Keefe brought it to us, and after I read it and Mike read it, it just trickled out, and everybody started getting into this book. And it really does remind us that solving problems for people is so much fun. It really is the key. It really is. Robert, yeah, battle wife about spending more money on the mentorship. I hear you, Robert. It's one of those things. You just remember she's right. And it creates an opportunity for both of you. Excellent. Wealth principle 52, we're back to it. Sharpen the saw. Mike Schein, without further ado, if you can bring out the book of the week. 7 principles of highly effective people. Mike, you're up.
All right. So here's the book. And as you can see, my little bookmark, I haven't finished it, but I do have a good reason why. And here they're going to do a little video aid of why. This is one reason right here. Let's see. Reason number 2 is right here. Terry Wager. Woo! Reason number 3 just came yesterday. Woo! They're all amazing books, but I have it on Audible. And I have it in book form, so it will be on my list. Thankfully, I've gone through the 52 weeks, so I've got time to go back and read this one. Walter, you said this was your first self-help book or improvement book. Is that correct?
That is correct. That was the first self-help book that I ever did. First business book that I read back in college. They gave it to us in a class.
Nice. Yeah, so it's amazing. And the one for me is probably the first one just about being proactive. Walter said we were going to go into the Facebook page and say what really touched. I just love the idea of being proactive, not waiting for life to happen to me, but to go out there and go get it. So I highly recommend it, even though I've only read half of it, but go get it. I haven't heard anybody ever say anything bad about this book. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Thank you very much.
Let's give Mike Schein a round of applause. It is one of the most popular business books in the world and has been helping people change their lives for a very long time. So it was the first book that got me into self-development. Hands to the camera if you've read the book already, if you know the one I'm talking about, 7 Habits. Yes. Powerful book. There was a point where I can't even remember the exercise. I just remember reading the book and hitting this point where he talks about having a paradigm shift. And I had a paradigm shift, and I realized that just reading a book was able to create a change in my mind that now allowed me to see the world in a different way with a new lens. And I realized that there could be more books like this out there, that there could be more that I don't understand about the world, because I was so sure of myself. I was so certain I knew everything. I was young. I was 21. I remember being so certain that I had such a firm grasp on how all things, everything worked, that nobody could teach me anything. And I was fortunate enough to finally have decided that I didn't want to work the rest of my life. And I went to college, and I was in this course, and I was opening my mind to just being taught and learning and educating. And it was at that time I read this book that I realized I know absolutely nothing, and that the world is far more complex than I've ever understood. And it opened my mind to reading the next book and the next book and the next book. And that put me down the journey of over 300 books, and most of which in the last 5 years, 250 in the last 5 years, and going to all the training courses and going to all the programs and signing up for the coaches and getting mentors and getting people to teach me what they knew. And it has led to the most amazing journey in my life, the most amazing people, the most amazing experiences. And I am so thankful to be here, being able to deliver my rendition of the 52 wealth principles, my understanding of the wealth principles. You'll discover, as Jen has discovered, as I go through them again next year, I will change things. I will give more detail. I will give more information. I will explain it better. I've had practice now. I've had more time evaluating. I've had more feedback from you. And so next year, starting next week, the wealth principles will be delivered again, one at a time. We'll focus on your business. Last year, we focused on doubling your income and your net worth. This year, we're going to focus on doubling your income and your net worth again. I've been doing it the last 5 years, and it's been a phenomenal experience. My income goes up every year. My net worth doubles every year. And it has also been a journey. Well, it's been at times difficult, because you're stretching, you're changing, you're adding something new to your life. Doubling your net worth is possible. Doubling your income is possible. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. I'll tell you what, it feels easier at the end of the year than it did at the beginning of the year. Guaranteed, happens every year. At the beginning, feels impossible. In the middle, just feels like work. And at the end, it feels easy. That's the mind playing tricks on you. I guarantee you the entire process was just as easy as it feels at the end, if you think of it that way. We're going to go through it again, 52 weeks, one at a time. Next week, same time, same place, 10 o'clock Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. Be here or be square. I will be in Massachusetts on the 28th. I'll be in Warwick on the 28th. Massachusetts the next day, but I will be unattainable, unavailable in Massachusetts. So I'll just be in a meeting with Ron. But on the Thursday, the 28th, I'll be in Warwick. We'll be having cigars and real estate. And you have access to me. So come out, hang out with us. We'll be at Havana's. I do want to just hang out for a few more minutes and ask the coaches, go around with the coaches and find out what your biggest piece of advice was from all of the 52 weeks. And again, a reminder, you wrote down earlier that you're going to do a Facebook Live on your favorite wealth principle. I know it's terrifying. I know it's scared. I know it's like, why would he mention it again? Does he really seriously mean it? Yes. Yes. I'll be watching. Tag me. Yeah. There we go. All right. I see you buying into it. Terrified. That's perfect. Excellent. That's how I want it to be. The scarier it is, the more you need to do it. Do a Facebook Live, talk about the wealth principle you choose in 30 seconds, and then tag me in it so I have proof that you're serious about your success, committed to your success. I want to see it. I want my Facebook to blow up today. I want to be like, oh shit, bam, bam, everybody's doing it. Coaches, you're up. Dr. Terry Wager, we have overworked you all weekend. I know. We gave everybody the responsibility who was interested in the program we sold Thursday, the requirement to call Terry. And Terry is crushing the calls. I got a message from Chris Bazalian today. Chris is in the program. Let's give Chris a round of applause. Hell yeah, Chris. Congratulations. First of many, my friend. Dr. Terry Wager, you are up.
Yeah, I think there's so many principles that we're looking through that it's just, overwhelming the mind. So pick one, read the books, but pick one, drill down in it and really kind of understand where you're at with it. And then what can you do to implement that more in your life? When we started doing that, Walter and I have been buddies for a couple of years now, and that's exactly what we do. Is what is the one thing, and Gary Keller, the one thing that's going to move you forward. And so each wealth principle has something for you. When we really drill down and take that in and make it part of our life, we move forward. For me, it's always take action and see who I can be of service to, because when I'm doing those things, everything seems to fall in line. So that's what I got for today.
I like it. Let's give Dr. Terry a round of applause. And if you haven't scheduled your call with Terry, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
2021. It's time to take action. Let's see. Is Ryan McDermott still on here? I know he's got a soccer game with his kids, and I probably ran this a little longer than he could stay on for. How about Doug? Is Doug in here? Excellent. Shifting over to Mitch Jorsky. You're up.
Dude, you just, you burnt everybody out, just going too hard on the mission.
See, that's why we do one at a time. 52 is too much.
You're a beast.
Ryan is not burnt out. He's looking at a property right
Exactly. Ryan's looking at a multifamily in Fall River, making it happen.
Hell yeah. Of course he is.
While Walter's gone, he's getting into Fall River.
I see it. I gave him the invitation. I said, look, Ryan, if you really want a cash flow, bro, you got to come to my city. That's where the money's made. Just saying. Mitch, your takeaway.
Yes, sir. To keep it simple, I'm just actually staying with like today's theme about sharpening the saw, because every wealth principle has something in it, and we could talk about them for days. But sharpen the saw is so simple to the idea of basically practice, repetition. It goes back to you look at basketball players, like they have shooting practice for a reason. They're working that craft. They're working on their form, right? It's no different with investing in real estate. Like you're analyzing properties and you're getting better at it each time. You're understanding the right way to go about it, the right way to look at numbers. And you're essentially training yourself where you get to the point where you can just glance at a property and be like, that looks like it might work. And then you dig into it, as opposed to like, you have no idea if it's even close. Same thing, like looking at properties, you're training your eye to like be able to go in, look at a property and be like, all right, I see what's going on here pretty much. I know what needs to be done. As opposed to when you walk into a property the first few times, you're like, I have no effing clue what I'm looking at, what needs to get fixed. And that's the big thing, for people, especially that don't have experience. So you got to put in the repetitions. The first like year or two that I started investing in real estate, I was running numbers on properties on the calculator all day, every day, like a freaking junkie, every which way possible. And now it's simple. It's like I jump in, I know which way to look at it. And so repetition, you got to keep sharpening that saw. So, and it's not like I don't run numbers on properties anymore. Still do it. Got to keep the shorts, keep that saw sharp. So, that's really the biggest takeaway. You gotta take the actions, put in the repetitions until it becomes, commonplace to you. And then you still gotta tend to it once in a while to make sure that you're keeping that blade nice and sharp. So it's really that simple. And I'll drop a link to the property calculator for those people that need more practice running numbers. You should be getting good at that. It should become second nature to you.
You should be able to get to the point where you don't need the calculator, right? Like, and I'm not saying don't need the calculator. It
just verifies what's here.
Like we always run our numbers through our calculators, but like I can go to a house and I know what it should be. I know the calculator is going to come close to this because I've run it so many times. I don't have to think when I'm in a house. As soon as I walk in, thank you, Kevin. As soon as I walk in, it's price. I know the numbers. I know what I'm looking at. I know the comps walking into the house. And so it's a quick decision. I can put my offer in right then and there. and then I go back and I verify with the calculators. If I have to, if I'm on the fly, if I don't have the opportunity to go back and sit down and do it first, I'll go and I'll sit down with the calculator afterwards. Here's the thing. I can evaluate so quickly because I've done so many. That like the calculator is just I effortlessly run through it. Does that make sense? Mitch Jorsky is the author of the book. If you don't know, he's the author of the book, Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing. He's also the author of the book, Scaredy Cat Guide to Knowing What the Heck Bitcoin Is. Mitch day traded for years, and he's got another book coming out, Scaredy Cat Guide to getting control of your 401k. What is it, Mitch?
Something to that extent. We're still beta testing the title, but it's in regard to investing within your 401k.
I like it. So it's a very powerful book coming out. What I'm saying is Mitch knows what he's talking about. He is a millionaire. In fact, all of the coaches who give advice are millionaires. That is the requirement for them to be a coach in this program. That is a requirement for you to be a coach in this program. If you're inspired, you want to get there, we're building 100 millionaires for a reason. The idea is to inspire our millionaires to go out and inspire more millionaires, because millionaires can change the world. Millionaires have enough money to invest in businesses, to create jobs, to invest in charities, to help other people, to invest in communities, to rise their communities up. Fall River is thankful for the millionaires that exist who've gone in and done the work there. We're a part of that. It feels cool knowing that we're a part of what renovates that city, the city we're from. Think of the city you're from. You can be a part of it, making it a better place. Millionaires make a difference. Millionaires make change. Millionaires create jobs. You're important. Your wealth is important. Thank you, Mitch. We appreciate you. Mike Schein's not at his desk. So Christine, you're up next. We'll do the ladies next. Darina, you're right after Christine, just so you know. Keep an eye on this.
Good morning, or almost afternoon for some of you. Hey, Walter, I appreciate that you brought us the 52 weeks in review and looking forward. It was fun going through and being like, yeah, I'm nailing that one. And then, oh, that could be a really good focus. What am I doing now to bring that more in my life? One of them, I was like, ooh, I think that might need to be my next read, because that is so true. And that one was the 12 weeks. That one's been in our Amazon to buy for a while. And I think I'm going to grab that one next. And we got your book yesterday, so that's in the next read too. So the 52 weeks of wealth, I think, is so great, because it's not just for the real estate investors, it's for anyone looking for wealth. And we had a great conversation with Mike Schein about wealth earlier this week and how it's different from being rich. And the whole idea of it's the wealth, what do you want to do? It's you earning it. It's not just the lottery handout, even if you bought the Megabucks ticket for $990 million. It's how are we living every day, taking action to move us towards our wealth, towards those relationships, towards better health. It's what can we do every day, every minute to set the intention, the goal, however you call it, so you can live more and share more with the community and the people around you. So I love the 52 weeks of wealth and just listening to them again in review and looking forward to the next 52 weeks.
Let's give Christine a round of applause. We love having Christine as a coach, as a guide, as someone who's in here in the community. Everybody in the mentorship knows who Christine is and why she's so amazing. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Christine. We appreciate you. And Dr. Terry Wager, Generator Coaching. What a great partnership we have with you guys. You donate so much time, you dedicate so much energy and knowledge. And for the people who have moved into your program, we see results. Let's give everybody in the program a round of applause. Everybody who's ever signed up or had a call with Terry and Christine, you know what we're talking about. They will push you. You will be successful. Thank God you don't have a choice, right? Darina, you're up.
Good morning, good afternoon. My biggest lesson really comes down to commitment, because I'm so impressed with Walter committing to 50 weeks to wealth at the first time, because he saw the big vision and he's like, man, it's gonna take a year. Man, it's gonna take 2 years. And he's committing again to go through every single Saturday 10 o'clock Eastern to show up for us. I'm just so impressed. And it's how you do anything, it's how you do everything. And lead by example. And I don't think we have that principle here but it combines. Imagine every single week you gotta be here. And despite the fact how you want things now, Walter just decided to trust the process. And I have chills because it just hit me yesterday. So thank you.
You're welcome. Let's give Dorina a round of applause. Last night, I haven't gotten to see her for over a month, right? So we've this past week, we've really gotten to spend some time together and catch up on some things, but not everything. And she asked me how I came up with everything that I do. And I told her, I was like, well, I wanted everything done all at once. I wanted to bang it all out in a couple of months. And when I started looking at who I was at the time, I realized I wasn't the right person to be writing the books I wanted to write. I hadn't quite figured it all out. I hadn't quite delivered and I hadn't tested it all out. And I also wasn't too satisfied with my speaking abilities. I didn't feel that I was being able to evoke emotion and get a person to remember what I wanted them to know fast, quick, in their head. So it was something that would move forward with them. And I needed to practice. And so I hate commitment. Like there's nothing I hate more than having a time of day every single month where I'm locked in. And it wasn't until I embraced that and I said, you know what, I'm willing to commit to this. And I'm willing to commit to the community. And I'm willing to commit to Dorina. And I'm willing to commit to our coaches, that I started falling in love with commitment. And I started falling in love with the process. And I started falling in love with the mission. And when I really looked at it, and I said, this may take 3 to 5 years for me to get all the books that I want to create, all the courses I want to create, the 100 millionaires I'm going to want to go out and push this mission, the products and trainings, it could take a year to do it the right way. And in the past, I'd always said, well, I'll just hack it and put it together quickly, hence broke to $250,000. And so it was committing to this team, to this community, to this mission, to this vision that started the 52 weeks. When I said I was going to do a training the same time every week on the same day, I felt such a heavy pressure on myself because I remember retired at 30. And at 34, I locked myself into a commitment. I know for many of you, 1 hour a week doesn't seem like a big commitment. But to me, who had absolute freedom, I decided I was going to do this. And it was a big decision. And then shortly after that, I took on Wednesdays at 5, Wednesdays at 6, Monday at 5, Thursdays at 5, Thursdays at 6, and created 6 hours a week of commitment to a community, to a mission, to a vision much bigger than myself. And every video that I record, every training that I do becomes a training course in Alchemist Community, becomes videos on YouTube. It becomes content somewhere else where free information is going all over the place. But the next level is that every one of those training courses and videos becomes a book. It all becomes a part of a product that's going out to educate for free or for very inexpensive. And then starting the podcast, the Alchemist Nation podcast. Who's watched the podcast, by the way? Who's listened to it? Awesome. Subscribe and write a review on iTunes. It means so much to me. It means a lot. And I appreciate everybody who has. I know who has because your names show up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Go on iTunes, write a review. It helps me rank up so I can get my mission out to more people. It costs absolutely nothing for somebody to listen to a successful person talk about success. I've interviewed over 115 multimillionaires, millionaires, multimillionaires in real estate, and they drop advice every single time. I always ask at the end the 3 pieces of advice they would give to somebody who's starting fresh, 20 years old, new into the game. And they deliver. They always deliver. I have been so blessed by the podcast, but it was work for me. Sometimes I'm on the podcast 5 to 10 hours a week. Additional things that I don't have to do. I don't get paid for it. None of this do I get paid for. It's volunteer work. It's charity. It's giving back. It's paying it forward for the people who took the time to teach me and train me when I started. The realtors, the mentors, the lenders, the attorneys, people who took me under their wings. And so I'm paying it forward. And here's what I'm doing that's different from what some other people do. But I think you're like me. When somebody does something for me, I pay it forward 1,000 times more. I've always said, my grandfather used to tell me, he said, I will never take money from you. You will never see me take anything from you. You're my grandson. I'll never take anything from you, but I will give more than you can ever repay. That was his philosophy. And I remember this lesson because he got to the point where he loved his garden, but he couldn't till the garden anymore. His back was pain, you know, a lot of pain. And just called him up and I said, hey, I want to do the garden for you. I don't know how. I need you to teach me, but I want to till it and I want to do it. And it took me all day and it hurt a lot. By the way, I did not realize I was not in that shape. And tilling a garden Portuguese style, it was like 6 hours of backbreaking pain. And my grandfather was not the sweetest man. He is very sweet, very kind when we're drinking wine, but when we're working, he's a perfectionist, high C personality. And so kept me in line the whole time, would not compromise his grandson learning the wrong way or doing the wrong job. So he pushed me hard. And at the end, he paid me $20. And I felt bad taking the money. And he told me, they said, boy, I will never take anything without paying. You earned this. This is yours. Thank you. It means a lot to me to have my garden this year. And he had a little tear in his eye. And it was the first time I'd ever seen my grandfather cry. It was the first time I'd ever seen the soft side of him, because he'd always been so fun and tough and strict. But to see that little bit, he saw that I just wanted to help. I just loved him so much. I just wanted his approval so much that I just did something that I wasn't good at. But I became good at it. He taught me, he showed me the way. Can you relate to that story? You had somebody like that in your life? So I took that philosophy. He did that for me at a very young age. I took that philosophy my whole life. And when I have the ability to give, I will over deliver always, because it's just what I'm good at. I'm a multiplier. I see something you want, I increase, I push harder, I give more, take it to the next level. I got time, I got energy, but I'll only be here for a short period of time. I've got bigger things I have to do too. There's more people I have to help. There's a bigger mission at the end of this. And so we're building 100 millionaires who can pay it forward themselves, take it to the next level, help their 100 people, build 100 millionaires. For everybody who is still on the call, thank you. You make this mission possible. You make being able to make the world a better place a real tangible result. You know, when me and Ron started talking, we said, oh, we want to make the world a better place. He makes fun of me because I'm sometimes esoteric. I think a little too big sometimes. But the more he's hung out with me, the longer we've invested together, the more deals we've done, the more this company provides and changes and delivers on what we say we'll deliver on, the more often I hear him say, we could actually change the world. We could actually do this. We could have an impact. He sees it now. You know, maybe he's not 100% convinced, but Ron is seeing it now. Let's give Ron a round of applause for putting up with me this entire time. Ron, is it true? You do all the stuff that I hate to do? You do all the work? You clean up things, clean up my messes?
Yeah, I do all the stuff. I do all the things. I'm the thing doer.
Ron does it all. I get to come out. I get to do what I feel most inspired to do, which is teach, train, coach, give what I wanted when I was starting, provide products that I wanted when I was starting. This book is everything I wish I had when I started this business. I poured my heart into it. I poured my knowledge into it. I poured everything I could get into it. And it turned out to be 1,000 pages. And so I split it into 3 books. And so this is just book 1. The other 2 are coming. The original book was supposed to be Real Estate Alchemist, Fast Track Retirement. And as I was writing it, I had 3 sections in the book: get the deal, get the money, be the bank. That was the process to true alchemy. And as I kept going through it, I kept getting harder and harder on myself, being like, man, like this should be done already. I should be able to produce this. And it wasn't until about December that I realized it's not 1 book, it's 3 books. Stop being so hard on yourself. Just slow down, produce all that can be done this day and save tomorrow's work for tomorrow. Does that make sense? Your goals may be ambitious, but not when you spread them over 3 years, 3 or 5 years. When you spread it over 3 or 5 years, it's extremely attainable, much easier, much more.
Hey, everybody, let's give Walter a round of applause for his new book and this incredible community and committing to another 52 weeks of wealth.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Christine. And I've got one more, Coach. Mike, you walked away. Mike, your biggest takeaway on Wealth Principle 52.
Yeah, I'm amazed at what an amazing journey this has been. I just kind of went to Fall River, and suddenly we're 52 weeks of wealth, and it's just been a lot of fun. Uh, apologize, I had to leave. I'm dealing with adverse possession with my neighbor.
They put a fence on your yard?
Started clearing my property. But anyways, but yeah, so just so blessed to be part of this community. And my biggest takeaway is that when you a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, because we just started with something small, and then you look back and you've read, I think I've read over 100 books this year, and and yeah, it's amazing. So blessed to be a part of this, and thank you, Walter, for creating this community. So that's my
Mike
Thank
Schein,
you.
you're amazing.
Mike, you're the best. We do. I want to
Amazing.
say a big special thank you to all the coaches. They dedicate so much time. They're millionaires. They don't have to be here. They love being here. They love helping the community. They love answering questions. Let's give all of our millionaire coaches a round of applause. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. And for those of you who are ready to become millionaires, future millionaires, or some of you who are already millionaires, I know who you are. We've had the conversation, who are looking to become pentamillionaires, decamillionaires. You're on the journey with us. Becoming a millionaire is the most rewarding and the most taxing part of this journey. It is a lot of fun, it's exciting, and it is a lot of work. But it can be easy. You can float on a cloud hanging out with the coolest people you know. We're all in it together. We want the same things. We want to build each other. We want to grow each other. We're here as a team. If you haven't yet considered the mentorship, please consider the mentorship. I'm looking for 100 millionaires. I'm looking for 100 inspired people, motivated people. I'll inspire you with the mission. I'm looking for 100 people who are motivated, looking to change their lives, looking to get to the next level. We did increase the price for a reason, to qualify people. When we brought people through at $677, we noticed that there was a little bit of flakiness there, a little bit. They're still good people. They still wanted the mission, but we had to work a little harder to get them to believe in themselves. And that was okay, worth it, totally worth it. We did the work. When we brought people in at 1,000, we noticed we got a higher quality person, somebody who was already there mentally. They'd already been there. I'm okay with you digesting and getting there mentally before coming through. When we up it to 1,200, we believe that 1,200 is the price where it's just over 1,000. It's something you know you're committed to. Hands to the camera if you know 1,200 feels like more than 1,000. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So at 1,200, we know the person has decided they're worth it. We know that you have decided you're worthy of becoming a millionaire. We know that you're willing to put money up and say, okay, I'm in this. So that's why the mentorship was shifted to $1,200. The $200 extra does not make or break our day. I promise you. We make our money through real estate. We're doing $1 million deals. We're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in transactions. And when I say transactions, I don't mean like realtor transactions. I mean, that is our money that we get to keep. Does that make sense? Well, Uncle Sam gets his piece sometimes, unless we play the cards right, in which case we're not keeping the money, we're rolling it back in. So the mentorship is about qualifying, bringing the right people through. We will bust our butts for 2 months with you to make sure that you have all the habits to become successful. The habits, because it does take 3-5 years to get to the million, depending on where you're starting. If you already got $500,000, it could take us a year. Easy start. But if you're sitting on 100,000, it could be, closer to 3-4 years. If you're sitting on 10,000, give me 5 years. Is that okay? Is that okay? Excellent. Hands to the camera. If you've been in the mentorship, you're a graduate, or you're in the mentorship at the moment. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. A powerful community. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you, seeing you step up, seeing you come into your glory, into your abilities, seeing you partner with each other. It's the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing as a mentor, as somebody who's building a program like this and a company like this based on building 100 millionaires, seeing your progress, seeing you move forward, seeing everybody in the group chat, seeing the questions that you're asking. I love it. Every question means progress. Every single win, whether they're small wins, whether you got a tenant in, whether you put an offer in, whether you just got your real estate license, every win is a win. And we celebrate them together. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Everybody on the call today, you get a round of applause for showing up. For our new friends, people who are new to us, new to this community, thank you for hanging out this long. I know when you first jumped in, you thought, okay, what is this all about? And then as you got through it, you're like, what the heck is this all about? And then here at the end, you're still here saying, why the heck am I still here? This is crazy. This guy's talking about building millionaires. Shit, I just want to get by. But maybe I could do it. Maybe it is possible. Maybe if he's got all these other people convinced that they can be successful, maybe it is possible. Maybe if there are 7, 8, 9 other millionaires on the call right now who are still hanging out with us because they believe in the mission, maybe it's possible for you too. Cheers to your success. Oh yeah, don't forget to download the chat. Thank you. That's a great piece of advice, Elizabeth. So you can go hit the little three button there at the side. Hit that, hit download to get all the text messages. So if you want the coach's information or you want somebody else's information, you can grab that right from the chat there. Awesome. Next week, we're going to crush it. Next week is going to be amazing. If you haven't already bought the book, please go to Amazon and download it for free. This week, I ran a promotion. It's for free if you download the book. And if you want the physical, beautiful, hard copy, well, soft paperback copy.
Hard soft copy.
You can get it on Amazon. I priced it as low as Amazon would allow me. And that was the best I could do because it's 302 pages. I couldn't get it as low as my other book. My other book right now is on Amazon for $7 because it's not about the money. It's about spreading the mission. The point is not to work. It's to generate income. Mike Schein, the podcast this Wednesday. You want to do it? Yeah. 100 Millionaires podcast. We're doing it. Yes. Excellent. Mitch, you want to be there? 100 Millionaires podcast. You in? Excellent. Let's give my co-hosts a round of applause. Love these guys. Love hanging out, talking about money. We're probably talking about crypto this week. There's no way we're getting around it. Cheers to your success. We have a choice.
Always working with the best.
Work with
Coaches,
the best.
stick around for a minute, please.
What is it, Terry?
Coaches, stick around for a minute, please.
Oh, coaches. Hey, stick around at the end. You guys stick around. For everyone else, have a wonderful,
Saturday.
positive, powerful Saturday. Excellent.